I'm a very creative person. I like to create. I've always done music, art, poetry, writing. So I need to do that. That's something I need to do. But drawing and painting is always just, I've always done it since I was a kid.
All the stars remember and dream sometimes. Oh, it's only you build your worlds.
It's like, it's the only good day we've had for ages, and we're going in the dark loft. So this is obviously, like, I live in this house with my parents, so normally I like to paint really late, so late in the night, and so coming down to the loft is really impossible to do quietly. I think one thing that is so is a common thread is colour. I love colour. I love bright colours, bold colours, colours that just, you know, they brighten your mind, they brighten your life. So I love to work with colour expressively. A lot of the time I have an idea just pops into my head for a painting. Like I just have, it's like an idea, just it's almost like it's given to me, you know, something it just pops into my head and I think, oh, right. So then I draw it in my sketchbook and then start to think how I can make that into a piece. So that's probably half of the time. The other half is just literally, I've got this time to paint, so I'm just gonna do something. I'm gonna go in my studio, I'm gonna get my projector, I'm gonna just pick up a book at random, find an image that inspires me, start from that, you know, and just run with that. You know, something like the painting behind me here, the living proof, that's just literally, it's pretty chaotic, but that's just, you know, that's just a completely spontaneous collection of images that just I found around me at the time when I was making that particular piece. So, and that's pretty, you know, that's how I work a lot. I don't have fresh water, like there's no tap, so I have to constantly go down to get a jug of water. So, and usually to have a piss as well. I had a really great art teacher called Mr. Polsford, and he really encouraged me. He was a bit of he was like a whacked out artist himself, you know, kind of, he was more of an artist than a teacher, I think. And he just always encouraged me. He liked my style of just, you know. Most people I think when it comes to art, a lot of people at that level they're just drawing sort of like, maybe just predominantly involved with technique, trying to draw something the way it appears, you know, just trying to improve their technique. But I was never really interested in that. I was more interested in making something expressive, with you know, having an idea, having a concept, and going with that rather than just trying to sort of just draw something that is in front of you. You know, never really kind of connected with that kind of art. Like, one of my main tools that I use is airbrush. So I use that pretty much with all my, and I'm using like I mix up gouache with water, and I've made like an adapter on the top of my on top of the valve, the dispenser, so that it fits onto like little mini jam jars that so that basically I was collecting little mini jam jars to make up different colours. So I've got like an array of jam. Everywhere you look around here, you'll see little colour pots of jam jars with little pigment in. I remember seeing there was a class advertised in Canterbury, and went along to that, and that was when I met my first teacher, who was a monk called Rabton, who's now like the main, I think he's the spiritual director of Australia now within our tradition. So yeah, he was a very inspiring person for me. He just, his whole manner, his whole being is just, it just exudes peace and just happiness. Our spiritual guide, Geshe Kelsang, I've got a picture of him here actually. Get a close up of that.
Yeah.
I've just had it stuck on this like drawer for the exhibition. At the time I was getting, I was in a band and we were getting some renown. We made a first record, you know, and it was going really well, but I was getting more interested in meditation, and the lifestyle of that rock and roll lifestyle was, I was finding that you know, the balance between those two things difficult to maintain, and more drawn to basically just meditation and being just more quiet and less crazy, you know. Yeah, the other path, the spiritual path, seemed very attractive, and yeah, I just basically left, moved to the centre in Canterbury. I think it was then that I started training to, or just started to make drawings of Buddhas. It's something that I'm definitely, I know that I'm always going to do, and it's something I'm always can come back to, but it's very different from my style of art, the very expressive, spontaneous art that I've always done. So at the moment, this exhibition actually kind of highlights the area where those two different paths kind of share the same ground. You know, a lot of this work is definitely coming from Tanka and Buddhist sacred art, but also with freedom of expression and spontaneity that's, you know, that's always been present in my work. You know, a lot of my work, most of my paintings are really, it's almost like they're experiments. You know, you know, they're experiments, and some of the experiments work and some of them don't work. But even the ones that don't work, some people find something in them, you know. To work from sources such as like the National Geographic is a very popular thing for me. Like the images in that, I love the photography in that. I like to take images from that, encyclopedias, newspapers, anything, just images that just come, you know, you find, you know, just in your daily life. Like most of this work is sporting collage in some aspect, in some form. I think when the juxtaposition of images and text and words just brings more out in your own imagination. You know, you can get more out of a painting, I think, with when it's juxtaposed with some text, with some writing. I'm inspired by so much different art, not just necessarily painting, definitely anything creative really. Just, I love to see people doing it, you know, just doing it, doing what they feel they need to do, just expressing themselves, being creative and putting positive energy out in the world, because that's pretty much what art is to me. It's a constructive, positive medium to convey ideas, but mainly expressive. It's expressive. It's, you know, there's not a lot of things we can control in the world. The world's pretty, from certain points of view, is pretty messed up and out of control, you know. But I think as artists we at least can control what we put out into the world.
5 minutes.
So we can, okay, 5 minutes till dinner. It's one of the benefits of living with your parents. Yeah, we can control what we put out, and we can make beautiful things that hopefully inspire other people to do the same, to create, and to, you know, for that to be the, you know, basically to empower people to be able to do that. You know, people think they can't do art, or they can't draw, or they can't paint, and so that in itself, just that thought, is preventing them from actually doing anything, you know. But it's just a thought, so it's because we believe that thought that we're hampered by it. So I say, don't believe it. Don't believe it, just do it.